Yo, this is the Flatbush Zombies, and you're checking out Animal Status.
Animal Status only on Shade 45. My name is DJ Wonder, and man, guess what? This is my 300th episode of Animal Status on Shade 45. And I got to think the two groups that kind of most embody what Animal Status has been about for 300 episodes. One is the group that gets played the most. It's called the Grave Diggers. You might have heard of them. And two, Flatbush Zombies. And guess who I have as my special guest for my 300th episode of Animal Status? None other than the Flatbush Zombies, all three members of Flatbush Zombies, and the Resurrector himself, RZA. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
In the building.
Love.
Yeah.
Man, I'm excited. Thank you guys for coming on. Like I said, this is what this show is all about, the kind of music that you guys make, and I really appreciate it. Originally, you guys hooked up for Just Blowing in the Wind off the Man with the Iron Fist soundtrack. RZA, had you heard of the Flatbush Zombies like before you guys got connected?
Yeah, I heard a couple of their demos, and I think at that time it was I don't know if it was Bob Perry or somebody from the Koch days that, you know, used to always kind of keep me up to date on what's going on. And so I came across their music early, and you know, those voices, those lyrics was a perfect, to me, compliment on Blowing in the Wind. But we did that one kind of like, you know, the the new school way of just send the track, do the verse and all that. We didn't really get a chance to break bread and smell what kind of weed we smoke. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just, you know, fortunate that life allowed us to get a chance to get to that.
Yeah. Now, had you guys? That's what I was going to ask, if you were actually able to like sit in the studio and do it together. But I know that's how things work now. Do you, Flatbush Zombies, are you guys usually in the same room when you do stuff, or you're in different cities and running around and sending stuff to each other as of now?
Man, every song you ever heard, damn near 98% of every song we ever made, we was literally right next to each other. So, you know, especially not only the singles, but the whole albums. We, from the beginning to the end of the albums, we always connected, tethered, telekinetically, physically, emotionally. So I feel like that's we make our best work like that.
Right. Meech, so were you excited that when you got that call that you were going to be on a RZA soundtrack, and not only be on the soundtrack, but work with the man himself?
Oh yeah, I was ecstatic. I still remember I was in my house in 31st Street, Beverly and Tilden, had holes in my ceiling. I remember it like it was yesterday. I still play that shit every now and then and just laugh, because every time I hear that, when you watch the movie, every time I hear that beat, that theme, it just gives me this nostalgic feeling.
All right. And Juice, we're here because you guys are working together. It's been since 2012, right? That came out. Now it's 2021, and you're back together. And we have the first single. It just came out last week. It's called Plug Addicts, and we want to play that now. Juice, are you excited to debut this to the world?
I'm excited to debut this to the world. I'm excited for them to see the music video too. We kind of fly fresh in that bitch. It's a good story too. So tune into this Plug Addicts.
Animal Status only on Shade 45. My name is DJ Wonder, and I have special guests, Flatbush Zombies and the RZA himself. We just heard Plug Addicts from the project that they have coming out. You guys have a double feature. We're going to talk about what the second song is in a second. But for the first one, I saw the trailer before you guys put the video out. And at the end of it, there's a bunch of names listed. And two of the things that I saw in there, besides each of your names, I saw Prince Paul and I saw Grave Diggers. Now, what did that have to do with Plug Addicts? Why did you put that on the trailer?
Well, you look at the Flatbush Zombies. If there's any MCs or any group who are really carrying forth that lyrical dark style of hip hop, it's them. You know what I mean? And when it came time to do this project, we brought Prince Paul in to help us. You know what I mean? So we wasn't shy. And you know, going back to what we talked about earlier, you know, we actually was all in the studio together. You know what I mean? Prince Paul in the building, RZA in the building. You know what I mean? The whole zombie crew in the building. You know, the room was cloudy. You know what I mean? From the smoke. You know what I mean? And we lived it out in the chambers. And so it's real. So that teaser was just letting you know that this is not just an email collaboration. It's a real collaboration.
Yeah. Well, I've showed RZA this probably a couple times, but this is my screen on my phone for like the last 10 years, probably right here. So, I love the album 6 Feet Deep. What about you guys, Flatbush Zombies? How did you first discover the Gravediggers?
I'm trying to think of the first song.
Me too.
Which one is the one in the court? Which one is it? Which one's
Diary
of the
of a Madman.
Diary of a Madman.
Yeah, Diary of a Madman. Yeah.
Bear Witness. Yo, I remember my uncle would play that shit over and over again, and I'll just keep hearing woo, woo. So when you play this beat, that shit goes off in my head. It's like once you play that song, I almost turn possessed, and I know all the words off rip like that. That shit's crazy.
RZA, is there any plans on kind of doing more music in that direction, or even under the Gravediggers name?
I don't know. It's like now I'm just really like, excited. First of all, I'm excited to see how the Zombies career has taken off since 2012. Selling out Red Rock and touring the world and hip hop once again, feeding another family. And, we did this collaboration. To me, this satisfies that urge for me. You know what I mean? If I had an urge, there was a lyric. We did one song that may not come out. Well, I think I said in my lyric, like the dark chamber of hip hop is protected. You know what I mean? Resurrected because of the Zombies is here. So I'm just gonna see what they do more than what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean?
Right. And something that you guys did, Flatbush Zombies, you also recently just came off working with Metallica for their foundation. They had an album that contributed to their foundation. You did Unforgiven. And how was that? Is that something you ever thought you would do, work with Metallica?
Let me tell you, man. I forgot what festival we had seen years ago. But one of my favorite Metallica songs is from Saint Anger. It's called Frantic. And yeah, I'm a big fan. So, when I got the call, they literally said like, hey man, like you could pick a song that you want to do. And I was like, man, we could do Into the Sandman, but nah. I was like, nah, Unforgiven, it's the one, bro. I remember opening the Pro Tools session. I'm not even prolific in Pro Tools. I'm not gonna hold you. I opened it and you could tell this is the recordings from the 90s, bro. That it just sent, I felt like I was literally talking to like ancestors of music, and it was a huge responsibility to take that and make something fresh and also to uphold the legendary status of the original song, So I think that, we did a great job and I never thought we would be able to do that, like seeing them on stage like that. I did say to myself, years ago, that we played the same festival as them. Even that was an honor, so to work aside from them it's really breathtaking, bro. I don't know what words to really say,
Listen, this is something that is I've always wondered about, the production change from Enter the 36 Chambers into Wu-Tang Forever. I mean, the biggest thing to kind of notice is that it was more synthesizers and not a lot of samples. Is that was that done so you could be more creative musically, or is it a more financial reason why you stopped using as many samples from those two albums?
No, I think it was more like an evolution. Because at one point when I was digging for samples and things of that nature, I'm digging for a sound that my brain is hearing, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what that note is, what that key is. And then by the time I got to Wu-Tang Forever, I had a chance to get some music theory into my brain. So I realized that I love that A minor. I love that E minor. I start realizing what I love. So when you start listening to songs like It's Yours, and you hear me, I'm playing all the chord progressions myself. You know what I mean? And I'm able to just do it myself. And, even though I'm doing it with synthesizers, and it's not the same sound as you would get from a live band or vinyl, but still, it's myself now being able to express what I'm feeling. You know what I mean? And I just kept along that path. Of course, that led down to Bobby Digital. You know what I mean? Where I went total bong bong synthesizer. I called it my digital orchestra. You know what I mean? And it's just evolution. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, have you found yourself getting back into samples more? And do you feel like now it's easier to clear something, or it was easier back then?
No, the sample game is always depending on who's buying. Like I know some dudes, they buy samples $500, $1,000. I put my name out, 10, 20,000, baby. The price goes up. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? That's one thing I don't like about it is that don't bang me on the head, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. And then speaking of samples, Flatbush Zombies in Death Part 2, you guys used Charles Manson in the intro to that. Has there ever been a soundbite or like something you want to use that ended up being like too dark and you decided not to put it on the record?
Oh yeah.
I got a real one about that song. This one is crazy.
Oh yeah,
the actual sound in that song. All right, so yeah, you recognize the Charles Manson, obviously, right? But there's a sound that's in Death 1 and Death 2 that's like a high pitched like screaming sound, and like by the time Meech had we flipped the beat so Meech could go crazy, I had like down pitched it, but it's actually a recording of someone actually in pain in the hospital. So I had my phone in the hospital. Yeah, and I just heard this sound. I was like, yo, I've never heard nobody cry like that. And this person was in pain, bro. And I pulled my phone out and I didn't know what I would use it for, but I put it, it was almost like we put it directly in the beat and it was like, yo, that's exactly what this song needed, yo. So that's a little nugget for y'all. Like
that's why that song probably feels so creepy, because that's really somebody in the background going through it.
Going through it. So Juice, let me ask you this real quick. Do you think that you can summon bad energies or even like demons through music?
Yeah. I mean, the devil, they say, used to use music as a frequency to control motherfuckers. So, everything is a frequency, everything is energy. If you're using the bad energy, you can, tap into that. So I think so. But we don't do that.
Also bring angels. You can bring angels too.
Yes, that's right. You can bring angels as well. It's a good dichotomy, especially in the Flatbush Zombies music. There's all kinds of things going on. Animal Status only on Shade 45. My name is DJ Wonder, 300th episode. And I guess I'm not going to tell anybody else, but you're my favorite guest so far. The RZA, of course, and Flatbush Zombies. Now they have a double feature. We played Plug Addicts earlier. Now we have another song that we can't play yet. It's coming out the end of this week, but we can say the title, right? Quentin Tarantino. So we haven't. Now, of course, RZA, you're friends with Quentin. Did you have any influence on this, or did Flatbush Zombies? Did you guys come up with this title?
It was a collaboration. So we did it together. You know what I mean? And the idea was, he's our favorite director. You know what I mean? He's one of the best directors in the world, one of our favorite directors, and his movies actually touch into our chambers. You look at Kill Bill, they buried a woman alive, all right? And she had to punch her way through that grave, all right? You know what I mean? That's grave digger for real, all right? So one cool thing about this song, and I can't wait for the world to hear it when it comes out next week, is it's not just a lyrical collaboration, it's also production collaboration. Architect added his production style to the track, and even I think more even in a super homage way, Prince Paul himself. You know what I mean? The Undertaker, the Undertaker himself came and blessed us, yo. You know what I mean? And it's cool when you think about, we were talking about the Gravediggers earlier, and I think we're honored that that Prince Paul came in and joined this creation with us. You know what I mean? So, and the lyrics that these three MCs is dropping, I'm actually going to pass the mic to them to talk about that, but they definitely spitting, lava. I won't say fire. They spitting lava.
Meech, what was your inspiration for this one, man? Did you have to go back and watch some Grindhouse films?
I watched those shits on a regular, so I did it, but I didn't have to. But the hardest part about doing these kind of songs, because I call it lyrical exercise, we do it sometimes. We'll be like, let's make songs naming wrestlers, let's make songs naming cereals, comic books, and sometimes they don't come to fruition, but we'll write it. Headstone is kind of like that too. It's hard when you're with other people in the group and they're very talented and they said all the great movies already, and you got to be like, what the fuck am I gonna say? Because he already said Reservoir Dogs, and Eric really went off, so it's kind of like it's very interesting. It makes writing more fun for me, because then it's like, all right, I want to say Reservoir Dogs too, but how can I flip it and not say it so it sounds redundant? And that's the funnest part about being in the group. When you have an idea like that, you get to look at somebody else and be like, damn, I know the song was about robbing a bank, but you took it to another level. And I like to have that with my group.
Right. And this is a double feature, like we said. Plug Addicts has a video that came out, and now we're looking forward to the video for Quentin Tarantino as well. Now, when you guys are making tracks, like as soon as you're done, you automatically have like a vision of what the visual should be as well.
I think for me, you got it.
Nah, I was gonna say me, not always, but this song is so cinematic. I think it's just like a no-brainer, really. Just it sounds like a movie. You know, it's one of those songs that if you played it for someone, they'll be like, "Yo, why don't you have a video yet?" Because it sounds like it's supposed to come with a video. It is a video.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say this track. As soon as RZA sent it to us, he walks the streets at night. I'm like, this is a movie. This is a movie. This is a movie, bro. Like, this is the opening scene of a movie. So, yeah, like to echo what Meech is saying, yeah, it doesn't always work like that, but I think for this one, I think Plug Addicts had a similar sentiment, but I think this one it feels like some big movie screen shit, you know, like it sounds like the soundtrack for the movie Quentin Tarantino.
Right. And RZA, as a director, as a producer, what do you think the plot would be for a Flatbush Zombies feature? What do you think they would be doing if you were to do something with them?
Man, well, first of all, you know what I mean? We had to take it back to Flatbush. All right. We'll bring in some Jamaican roots, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Let somebody, you know what I mean, make a few dolls, you know what I mean? And try to make some dolls of the top government officials, you know what I mean? And try to control the city. And the only ones who could help save the city is the Flatbush Zombies and shit, you know what I mean? Because they got counter spells. All right.
I like that.
That's hard. That's hard.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. That's a good freestyle right there.
All right, let's get on it, man. Eric, you got to get ready to start writing the script. All right. And then I'll help. Just hit me up. All right, man. Listen, guys, thank you so much for being part of the 300th episode of Animal Status. I can't think of any two groups or a group of people that I'd rather be on there than you guys. So I appreciate it, man. And let everybody know where they can listen to Plug Addicts and Quentin Tarantino. It's available everywhere. I'm gonna pass the mic, but I just want to say congratulations first to you, DJ Wonder, 300 episodes, man. That's a triumph right there. So keep going, and maybe 300 episodes later, we'll be back in the building with you. So let's hats off to that, and I'll pass the mic to the zombies.
Shit, nigga, Apple, motherfucking Spotify, all DSPs everywhere. And you got a screen on your phone. You should be able to find it.
All right, man. That's right. Just type it in, Flatbush Zombies, and you'll be able to see and hear both of those singles, man. Thank you guys so much. This has been Animal Status on Shade 45. I got to go put out the fire over there. You all are members of the Midnight Society now. Thank you.
Appreciate you,
man.